I got into arranging, I got bit by the arranging bug when I was in Count Basie's band. I remember playing bass in the band, and the curtain went up, and I looked down and didn't have my music in front of me because I've been practicing it backstage. So nothing to do but just play. I realized at that moment that I had actually memorized the book, which was great because then it allowed me to really listen to all the cool things that were going on with the sounds that the Basie Band created. So I fell in love with what was going on. I'd never written for big band, but I knew how to transpose for the instruments. And I asked Mr. Basie if it was okay if I wrote something. He said, sure. So I wrote this piece. The band hated to rehearse anyway, but they rehearsed my piece and it sounded like garbage. And it was so embarrassing. But luckily, the guy said, hey, Clayton, you know, you got the right idea, keep it up. And I knew it sounded like garbage. But I was frustrated and motivated to really check out the music. And there was a song that the band played every night that I got goosebumps on, called Splanky, the great Neil Hefti song with that shout chorus that goes, ba ba da da da, ah ah da da da. And I got goosebumps. So on a break, couldn't hear everything, but I transcribed as much as I could from Neil Hefti's Splanky. And I used that as kind of a model to write my own piece. And I ended up rehearsing that with the band, counted it off, and started playing. I looked around, and everybody's feet were padding, so that was like, made it over that hurdle. And at the end, Basie looked at me and said those magic words. He said, let's do that one more time. That was when I got bit by the writing bug. And then it was always 2 steps forward, 1 step back. You know, as soon as I thought I knew what I was doing, I'd write something that just didn't work. But it was with the encouragement of the members of the Basie Band. And then when I left the band, I met people like Van Alexander and Vinnie Carter and so many of the great arrangers, and it was actually Van Alexander who told me about ASMAC and convinced me to think about coming on board. And Van thinks big, so he said, what do you think about being president? I thought, what? But I ended up doing that. I follow Van's instructions and examples every time I can. So he and Vinnie Carter grabbed me by the arm, essentially, and led me into the organization. And I haven't looked back, haven't regretted a moment. I love our ASMAC family. It's a joy to be a part of the composers and arrangers world. Thank you and congratulations.